This video is sponsored by Squarespace. In the past decade, a massive shift has occurred in the entertainment industry. TV and streaming has seen rapid growth, while the institution of cinema is dying. Audiences have defected en masse to the sofa to binge-watch countless high-quality shows, leaving the once prized feature film in the dust. And after all, why shouldn't they? TV shows are superior, aren't they? Without the constraints of a movie runtime, narratives are allowed to unfurl as televisual novels. Production values have skyrocketed, delivering a cinema-grade experience right into your living room. If movies are dying and TV is thriving, that's because audiences have found a superior form of storytelling and entertainment. At least that seems to be the conventional wisdom in the entertainment space right now. The only problem is, that conventional wisdom is dead wrong. Because movies are better than TV shows, and I'm tired of pretending they're not.
On screen.
The idea that TV shows are better than movies stems mostly from one element: runtime. Instead of compressing character and plot into a restrictive 2 hours, TV shows have all the time in the world to tell complex stories with lots of characters. When it comes to novel adaptations, I can understand this reasoning, but it's a total fallacy to apply this to storytelling in general. It assumes that more time always leads to stronger storytelling, but more often than not, the complete opposite is true. Strong storytelling is concise storytelling. The best kind of writing is the kind that accomplishes multiple things at once. It establishes character while setting up the plot. It builds the world while developing the theme, and so on. The problem is, this kind of writing is hard. Given infinite time, any writer can flesh anything out. It takes real skill to be able to shorten stories into their most efficient forms. As Mark Twain famously maybe said, but probably not, "Sorry to write you such a long letter. If I had more time, I'd have written a short one." One of the most common mistakes made by student filmmakers is starting their films with their main character waking up and going about their morning routine before anything of substance happens. Well-written stories cut to the chase and get on with it. A common refrain I often hear about movies versus TV shows is that movies are plot-driven, whereas TV shows are character-driven. That's nonsense. Strong character writing is strong plot writing. In visual mediums, the primary storytelling tool is action. Drama has to be physicalized in some way. Sure, we can be told such and such a character is a genius, but we won't buy it unless we see them act like a genius. Which is why, ultimately, character personality matters more than character development. This even applies to lavish televisual novels. Did we really need an entire season's worth of development to care about Ned Stark? No, we have him pegged as an honourable, noble man right from the beginning. Likewise, Walter White didn't gradually become interesting after many seasons, he was engaging to watch from his first scene. After all, the whole reason we commit to spending potentially hundreds of episodes with the same set of characters is because they are strong characters from the start, not because they might develop over the next few seasons. Though Walter White is an excellent example of character development, strong personalities can hold our interest even if the character is static. Iconic characters like Doctor Who, James Bond, Paddington, and the vast majority of superheroes basically never change. They have held the same convictions, morals, worldviews, positions, and skill sets for the decades they have existed, and yet they are still compelling. Whether Paddington is in a 5-minute short film or a 7-hour epic, we all still love this character. Conversely, if a character is boring or irritating, how does spending more time with them make them better? The problem with weak characters is weak writing, not a lack of time. Speaking of which, if you've always wanted to build your own website but found you don't have the time, today's sponsor Squarespace will be a big help. I recently redesigned my website galaxyclasspictures.com using Squarespace's cutting-edge design tools like Blueprint AI, which helped me generate a brand new personalized template, which I then customized using Squarespace's easy-to-use Fluid engine. Squarespace also helps with your site's discoverability with their built-in SEO and domain name features. You can optimize your website so it shows up more often in searches and secure your ideal domain name. No extra fees and no add-ons required. Jump over to Squarespace using the link below to start building your website, and use the coupon code Coleman to get 10% off your first purchase. Okay, you may be thinking, I get the argument about character writing, but surely the longer runtime of TV shows allows for more creative freedom rather than confining a story to feature length. In actuality, the television format is usually more restrictive than the feature film, not less. As long as a movie is around 80 minutes, it can be as long or as short as it needs to be, and most crucially, anything can happen in that runtime. Main characters can die, mysteries can be solved, romances can bloom, battles can erupt, and, most importantly, stories are allowed to have definitive, conclusive endings. None of this is the case with TV shows. Main characters can't die because the show would suffer. Mysteries have to be drawn out to fill up the episode count. Likewise, romances are trapped in an interminable will-they-won't-they status. Battles cost a lot of money, which means the producers have to cheap out on other episodes, and most shows don't have an ending prepared when they start. There are exceptions here and there, but they only prove the rule. In fact, a lot of showrunners seem to be ashamed of making television in the first place, and instead hype up their shows as 10-hour movies. And they often compare their production values to blockbuster films. While it's true TV shows have gained ground on the latter part, they still pale to the best of what the big screen has to offer. Production value-wise, feature films remain the yardstick that so-called peak TV continues to measure itself against. While movies are concise in their writing, feature film productions afford filmmakers more time to create richer lighting, stronger compositions, and more dynamic camera moves. It isn't just about fidelity, but craft. Game of Thrones and Rings of Power have both staged impressive battle sequences, but they haven't touched the Battle of Helm's Deep or Pelennor Fields. Despite all the high-end visual effects in recent Star Trek shows, they haven't produced anything as gripping as the first space battle in The Wrath of Khan. For all the Mandalorian and Andor's groundbreaking technology, they have yet to match the breadth of visual spectacle seen in either the prequel or sequel trilogies. And it seems audiences are aware of this fidelity gap. Recently, Disney released the trailer for their Mandalorian and Grogu movie, and a lot of people responded by saying it looked like a TV show. Don't get me wrong, there is plenty of cool stuff in TV shows these days, but nothing has come close to matching my experiences seeing Avatar, Dune, or the recent Superman in IMAX. Despite all the ground small-screen entertainment has gained, it still exists in the shadow of movies. If all of that hasn't convinced you, let me ask you a question. How many times have you been recommended a TV show only to be given the caveat that it gets good after a certain number of episodes or even seasons? Time is precious, and if you want more great stories, watch more movies. There is a funny quirk in runtime commitments with most audiences these days. Viewers will refuse to watch a 2-hour movie, but happily binge 3 to 4 hours of a TV show. If this sounds like you, my advice is to get over yourself. Unless you have solid plans after that first hour, then you can commit to a movie. Obviously, there are plenty of bad movies out there, but there are just as many bad TV shows. The difference is that you'll know a movie is bad within the first 20 minutes, whereas a bad TV show will waste hours of your time. If you value that time, you should watch more movies. If you need some structure to decide which movies to watch, Letterboxd has you covered. There's a wealth of good lists on there, curated based on genre, filmmaker, era, or simply vibes. These work like unofficial anthologies with feature-length episodes. Instead of sitting down to watch another episode of a streaming show hoping this time the plot will finally move forward, how about working your way through classic movies for beginners, good films 90 minutes or less, or the ultimate I can't pick a movie list? Treat these lists as your new favourite shows, and I promise you'll never be left hanging by an unresolved cliffhanger, strung along by a disappointing mystery box, or forced to endure mediocrity until the show gets good. Because when movies are good, they're good from start to finish. Thank you for watching, and thank you to Tim for editing this video. If you liked this video and want to see more, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to stay up to date on future uploads. On my Patreon, you can see videos early and ad-free. The link is in the description. Thank you to all of my patrons and members, with an ultra thanks to Tim Spot, Eamon Kelly, Michael Hardy, County Ark, Mike Halsey, Olivia Computer, Bano, Jaron Walker, Tom, Director Kate, Patrick Fleming, Matthew Camille, Lilac Yane, Ed Mark Star, Extreme Streamers, Howard Craig Kervik, and AS Caging 101. Thank you once again for watching, and until next time, have a good one.